Good evening. Welcome to the Human Rights Commission meeting of March 27th. I'm Bill Feingold, Chairman. We'll start our meeting with the flag salute. Mike McCullough, will you lead us in it?
Join me in the salute.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And Commissioner Carteret, will you please read the mission statement?
The mission of the Human Rights Commission of Palm Springs is to promote improved human relations, civic peace, intergroup understanding, and the full acceptance, respect, and participation of all persons in all aspects of community life so that we may be equal in the eyes of each other.
Thank you. Lee, can we have the roll call, please?
Commissioner Janis?
Here.
Commissioner Boyd, he called, he is in LA, will not be able to attend tonight. Commissioner Yo?
Present.
Commissioner Bowens?
Present.
Commissioner Feingold?
Present.
Commissioner Zelnus?
Here.
Commissioner Carteret?
Here?
Commissioner Guano?
Here.
Commissioner McCullough?
Present.
Thank you. Lee, has the agenda been posted?
Yes, it was posted in accordance with the Brown Act.
Thank you very much. Okay, anybody here want to have public comments? We have a public. Okay. We have a visitor tonight who's watching the meeting because you're thinking of applying to be on the Human Rights Commission, which would be a great thing. And we have 3 openings, and applications have to be in by July. What? End of this month?
Yeah.
I've been corrected, end of this month. Okay, because our season ends July. Okay, next up is approval of the minutes for the meetings of February 13th and February 27th. Has everybody received the minutes? Except for Mike.
Since I didn't receive the minutes.
Okay.
I move to approve both sets of minutes.
Is there a second?
Oh, second.
A second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And Mike abstains. Okay, those minutes are approved. Reports. Okay, first is my report, the chairman's report. 2 events. I attended a brunch 2 weeks ago. It's called the Jewish and Gay Lesbians of the Desert, and about 40 people met, and I discussed the Human Rights Commission and told them about the hate crimes meeting that was coming up in Hunters, and many of those people attended that meeting, and some of the people may be applying to be on the Human Rights Commission. So it was a really nice brunch. And on another Sunday, Mike McCullough and I went to a memorial service for Morris Kite, who was a gay activist, and it was held at the Villas, and it was a lovely event. And that's my report. Vice Chair Zelnus?
Thank you. Just a couple of quick things. I don't have anything to report to this group about the homeless task force that hasn't already been in the papers. The group is looking at expanding the services currently provided at the Frey Building, the JC Building, and also will continue pursuing other locations, other opportunities for facilities. And there's separate action going on outside of the Homeless Task Force itself that I won't comment on here. This Sunday, I think most of us know, is the AIDS Walk, the Desert AIDS Project, largest fundraiser here in the Valley. For those of you who aren't planning to walk and have not yet been have been asked for contributions, I will be walking both on behalf of PFLAG as well as my professional organization. So I will be happy to take whatever checks, cash, other valuables, watches, etc. would do. No, I'm teasing. Anyone interested in making a contribution, I would be happy to accept that on behalf of Desert AIDS Project and the Walk. The only other thing, my usual PFLAG meetings, 3rd Sunday of the month at the Cathedral City Public Library, 2:30 in the afternoon in their community room. And that will be happening the 3rd Sunday of April.
Thank you, Commissioner Zelnus. Next up, Mediation Committee. Commissioner Janis, do you have a report for us?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Last month, I made a report on complaint number 70, where the complainant was being harassed by a delivery man whenever he made a delivery to the complainant's place of work. She made several complaints to the delivery company and to her boss, but to no avail. After a few months, of continuing harassing, she was suddenly laid off. The complainant wishes to seek new employment in the hotel industry, but fears the harasser will not let up bothering her because hotels may have the deliverer on their route. Furthermore, the complainant does not want to call the police because it may involve her new employers who do not like those kinds of problems. Excuse me. Those kinds of problems, especially with new employees. Consequently, the complainant has requested the Human Rights Commission to send a copy of her complaint to the delivery company's local center and to their headquarters, for which she has provided me with addresses. I informed her that all HRC complaint and discrimination forms are treated as confidential information and are not to be released to the public. I told her that the HRC may consider sending a letter to the above addresses informing the parties that she has filed a complaint with the Palm Springs Human Rights Commission with a summary of her complaints and asked for conciliation by means of mediation. Now, I have drafted a letter for our chairman's signature, and I will leave out the pertinent personal references. But for your information now, this is dear sir, to the two companies that I'm going to address. Dear sir, this is to inform you that has filed a complaint of discrimination, and this commission, with this commission, singling out the following individuals of your company employs. The complainant has described in detail a problem of harassment, discrimination, and believes she was terminated from her last job because of the problem that had gotten out of hand. I'm saying mediation committee of the commission requests your cooperation for a conciliation through the process of mediation, a process in which a neutral third party serves as an intermediary between the conflicting parties. The parties may or may not meet directly. Discrimination means a treatment of or distinction against a person based on the group, class, or category to which that person belongs, rather than on individual merit, and is contrary to federal, state, and local law. The commission requests your cooperation in bringing this matter to an equitable resolution by responding to the complaints registered by, sincerely yours, Commissioner William Feingold, Palm Springs Human Rights Commission.
Okay, so you want me to sign that at the end of the meeting, and you'll send it out? Or do you want me to send it out?
I have to formalize it before I
Okay.
get a signature.
Okay,
And then I'll turn it over to
to
To-
Lee, and I can come over to...
Lee, and she can type it up if she will, and for your signature.
Okay, fine.
All right?
Okay, I'll take care of that. Thank you. Is that it, Commissioner Janis?
That's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Community Relations is next. Richard Cataret. Commissioner Cataret.
We, last month, were able to come up with a Community Relations Committee statement. And in the meantime, I've contacted a number of people to see if they would be willing to serve on this committee. There have been several nays. However, most of the people whom I have contacted have said yes, they would. We tentatively plan a meeting for the second week in April, and that would include both the police chief and the fire chief, who have both committed to serve on the committee. We also have had yes by a number of other people. Andrew Green, who is the rector for St. Paul and the Desert Episcopal Church. The Desert AIDS Project person who has yet to be identified said that he would. Jim Batten contacted me yesterday, and he said he indeed would not be able to participate, but that he would indeed send a representative. KMIR and KESQ have both indicated that they would be willing. to serve, as well as one other person from CBS, also yet to be identified, CBS News from Palm Springs. The intent is to review the responsibility. I did fax information to all of these people with regard to the Community Relations Committee that we resolved, or that was sent, or that we indeed came up with last meeting. And most people are willing to say yes, although 2 of them had indicated that they have real concern because they felt that it was an unnecessary committee, in that the Human Rights Commission was serving and that there was no need for an additional committee. However, the overwhelming response has been, yes, we will serve, and we intend to meet, as I said, as yet to be determined in the second week of April. So we're moving.
Thank you very much. Any comments? Anybody? That's very good. Thank you, Commissioner Carteret. Good work. Good work. You've been busy. We appreciate it. Next up is Hate Crimes Task Force. On March 4th, I brought the police chief to Hunters, and we had about 75, 80 people there. And we had the press there. Cindy Yukon was there from the Desert Sun. And overwhelmingly, it was a terrific event. The chief answered a lot of hard questions. Most of the people in attendance had never met the chief. It was a lot of business owners from the Arenas area. And I have followed up with the chief. We have a plan. We can't announce it yet. There are some budget restraints, some things we'd like to do to make the area safer. But overwhelmingly, even Cindy Yukon wrote a Saturday column, which I sent to all of you, which was amazing. We really thank the Desert Sun. This week's Bottom Line has an article on it with a great picture of the chief and a terrible one of me. And that's the way it goes. But I think it was a great event, and the chief wants to follow it up, and we're not going to do it probably at Hunters, but we're going to do it somewhere downtown, and we'll report on it. But it really started a new dialogue with the gay community and the police department. There's a whole new attitude, and the chief won over the crowd overwhelmingly. So that's my report. Next up is the Educational Forum, Commissioner Aguano.
I'll just refer you to item number 2 for items for discussion and or vote, the upcoming forum topic. So at this time, I have no comments.
Okay. Next up is commissioner comments. The floor is open to the commissioners. Floor is now closed to the commissioners. We have no comments, but I think we have a staff report from Lee.
Just a reminder about your 700 forms that are due April 1st. I've passed out some. I may have a couple others of you who didn't get them. Turn them in to Judy, if you would, by April 1st. There's a $10 a day fine up to $100, so it's a little bit more stiff than a library book that's overdue. And also, we have a council cabinet meeting. Public comment, huh? Our next council cabinet meeting will be Tuesday, April 8th at 7 p.m. in the large conference room. Richard, you may not be familiar with those. That's when the chairman of the different boards and commission meets with the city council and discusses what they've been doing, what's coming up.
And that's
Tuesday, April 8th, 7 p.m. right here. Okay, that's all I have.
Well, maybe you want to keep going, because items for discussion tonight, the first one was given to us by Lee. And do you want to explain what Living with Grief, Coping with Public, as you see it, as maybe a forum, or why you want us to be involved?
Sure. This was something that was brought to our attention by our fire chief, Barry Freet, as something we might want to participate in. It is a teleconference that it will not be televised on Channel 17 or televised on any network, but it will be something that we can go and listen to. They have arranged for it to take place in the Sturgis building over at the Desert Medical Center, Sturgis A and B building, which accommodates about 100 people. They are asking us, the fire chief is asking us if we would like to be a co-host along with Riverside County Chapter of Red Cross, the Cathedral City Fire Department, Palm Springs Fire Department, the Palm Springs Fire Department Chaplain Program. At this time, they are not asking for any funding for us, but just for us to be a co-host and perhaps in helping to pick panelists. They haven't decided if that is a role we'll play. That's still being formulated, but perhaps in spreading the word. It seemed like a natural to our May 6th forum that we had, and it's being hosted by Cokie Roberts. They are suggesting the forum will be 1:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which would be 10:30 to 1 our time, April 30th. They are suggesting that we host a panel discussion afterwards so that people that are in attendance and watching it could ask panelists locally if they have any questions or concerns, kind of a follow-up dialogue. It's a teleconference that's going to look at factors that define a public tragedy, will offer insight and advice to organizations and professionals as they support their communities and help those coping with loss. The information in this program will be of use to professionals who deal with emergency response, bereavement, and loss issues, first responders, EMS personnel, hospice workers, nurses, physicians, clergy, funeral directors, counselors, and social workers. And they all say it would be great information for just general members of the community. It's being put on by the Hospice Foundation of America. And several of our hospice organizations are also being involved. There'll be a box lunch. So it's something to consider. Almost a ready-made forum for us.
Yeah. Now, Lee, if I can ask you a question, you note Palm Springs to be a host site. Do we have like a site, a facility here at the city where teleconference kinds of things can happen from a technology standpoint?
Yes, we do here at City Hall, but this one they're having at the Desert Health Care at the hospital, at the Sturgis
okay.
building. It can accommodate
right, of
more
course.
people. We do have that facility next door in our small conference room. We've used it for CVAG meetings, for instance, and we'll have people that are on that committee gather in there and watch it. Saves the trip to Palm Desert if it's not a real long meeting.
How about the Palm Springs Public Library? They have a teleconference facility with a school. They have the virtual school.
The virtual university, yes, I believe they have facilities for that.
But this is already set up.
Right,
with
they have
the
a site.
Sturgis
We
building.
don't have to pay. So we don't have to pay $25 for the fee, or
That's already been taken care of. They're not asking our commission for any funding at this time.
So can I ask, what do they want us to do exactly to be involved?
Well, we would be a co-host. If we agree to this, or if you agree to this, any publications or advertisements or announcements would carry our logo with it. We may be asked to help in the selection of the panelists that would be available afterwards to take part in the discussion. But at that time, or at this time, we don't know if that will be required of us. They just thought it would be kind of a natural fit for the Human Rights Commission to be involved.
Okay, see, my question, I mean, I would like to go to learn all about this. I'm certainly not in a position to host something and say, well, this is what happens. For me, it would be a learning experience. So that's what I'm asking. I mean, we're not going to go as the experts. We're going to go.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and they have, Cokie Roberts already has the panel of experts for the telecast. It's just for the post-telecast to have, a discussion group or whatever. And you're right, Lee, from the last year's May 6th event, there were a number of people, psychologists and, people who deal with tragedies here locally who might be able to participate if, of course, we found out soon enough what the expectation was of us, because most of these folks either have counseling practices or other commitments. So getting them was a challenge last year, and I'm sure would be so this year as well. But I'm supportive of this, as even in relation to the Community Relations Committee and press releases or other media info that we might be able to facilitate getting the word out in this community.
And they have asked for our logo if we do want to participate. So again, it does help get the Human Rights Commission's
Right.
name out there.
So do you want to discuss it further? You want to vote on this tonight to take part? Because it's on April 30th, and if our next meeting is a forum, right? And then that would, then, Does anybody want to make a motion? Can we make a motion this evening to take part in it?
Is our next meeting a forum, or we're kind of off?
Well, yeah, we're off, we have to get the calendar out and figure,
Okay.
Okay, I make the motion that we'll have we co-host this teleconference, televideo conference.
okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Should we have a roll call, Lee?
Sure.
Do we want to, all those in favor? We could do, all those in favor? Aye. Okay, opposed? Okay, it passes, so we will take part in that. And we'll have to learn as it goes
Details to
along,
be
details to
determined,
follow,
yeah.
but we'll be glad to help, and I will certainly go to learn and do what I can.
It's not an interactive telecast, you know. Sometimes when you're teleconferences, you can participate, but this is more listening and watching. But then the panel discussion locally afterwards would be.
Okay.
Lee, there's a penciled-in time, 10:30 to 1.
Yes, that was my conversion from
Yeah.
Eastern
That's our time.
Daylight Time to Pacific Time there.
Yeah, because it's 1:30 to 4 Eastern.
So what would happen at 1, then we would take over, and there would be another event there? So
You'll
it's
become
important that
Cokie
we have
Roberts.
people to show up. That would be, I guess, your
Yes,
department.
yeah, it would be.
Well, along with the other co-hosts, I don't know if we would be responsible for the panel discussion afterwards, or the other co-hosts, perhaps the hospice or the chaplain program would be picking panelists. But yes, we would be there to ask questions and participate.
Okay.
Yeah, just keeping in mind that with the telecast being 10:30 to 1, and immediately following discussion, we'd probably need to do some kind of refreshment, lunch at, or,
They have box lunch.
Yes,
or
there-
something,
there's
yeah,
a-
because
there's a
we're,
box
we'll-
lunch.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Is this something that we could televise on 17? Can they have a videotape of the original teleconference, and then what we're doing could be supplemental?
No.
So you have
Yeah,
to,
they
so for
won't.
the community to benefit, they're gonna have to show up on a weekday and give up from 10:30 to 2:30 or 3:30. That's gonna be a hard sell.
Especially during the weekday, most people are working.
But then I guess our job is to get it into the newspaper
That's right.
and tell
Mhm.
people about it, and then have it, make sure it's reported on.
Exactly.
Mhm. Okay, so more details to follow, but we'll do what we can. Okay? Next up is the upcoming forum topics, and maybe before we discuss upcoming topics, we should get the calendar out and decide if the next meeting, if we go back to the regular schedule, which,
Could we consider this to be a substitute for the April forum?
I'm open to discussion. I mean,
I mean, it depends on what level of participation we are. That's why it's kind of
Right.
unfortunate it wouldn't be televised. It would be kind of nice if we could just move everybody over to the council chambers, but that would probably be the logistics, you'd lose everybody. But ideally, that would be how it might work out.
well, let's get the date. Look,
Okay.
Our next meeting is what day exactly?
Our next meeting is April 10th.
Okay.
That would be our next business meeting. And then our next meeting after that is April 24th, which is a proposed forum date.
Well, I certainly like the idea of,
Those of us on the
Surprised me.
education committee.
Surprised me. Well, what other people think about, I just don't understand, because this is gonna take place at the Sturgis Building. And unless we really get the word out, how is it our forum? You know,
Well, that's, we are co-hosting the panelists and the local discussion.
and you're gonna be there and co-host, correct? At those hours, you're gonna be there at 10:30 in the morning? Well, that's what I'm saying.
what day of the week is that?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Say so, yeah.
Well, why don't we wanna do a forum in April? We didn't do one last month. I was gonna do hate crimes, but I counted the hunters thing, and, you know, I got 80 people there, which is more than we get to a forum, and we got in the newspaper.
Well, I think that we don't necessarily have to have our forums, televised on Thursday night and in our regular meetings. I think it's important that we do have forums and such, but also, I'm not sure if we want to spread ourselves too thin, it depends on what, I think a lot of it depends on what level of participation is going to be required with this being co-host. If it's quite a bit, then if that falls on Joe, then how are we going to expect him to also do put together another forum? So
No,
that's,
okay.
that was
Okay, no,
my
I understand
idea.
what you're
was
saying, and it wasn't
we'd have two
necessarily to
events.
fall on Joe.
We'd have two events in a week, basically.
Well, if we want to count this as a forum, the only thing I would say is that we really have to work hard so that it's in the newspaper as the Human Rights Commission is co-hosting this, and it's somehow our forum as well, so people know about it. Then I'm happy with it. Richard, that might
Yeah,
fall on your new committee.
Yeah, that would be fine. I really think that it would make sense to look at that as a forum on Wednesday in place
So
of.
push your button, Rich.
I think that would make more sense to do it on Wednesday in place of another forum and really substitute it. And it really makes sense to me in light of a number of things, what is going on, and indeed coping with public tragedy at this point, I think is
Right.
extremely appropriate.
No, I agree with you.
Is
Anybody
there,
else have comments?
is there a way of getting it televised? Maybe one of the other co-hosts or somebody else in the valley might actually televise our portion of it. And then it could at least run on Channel 17 periodically and take the place of our forum.
Okay, my question is, what is our portion?
Yeah, we don't know yet.
Well, okay.
But the whole thing,
As far as I know, we're just showing up right
just
now.
the whole thing.
Which is fine with me. We're just showing up. We're all going to learn.
We don't necessarily have to be in charge
Right.
of it in order to run on Channel 17. It's something that we're interested in.
Yeah. See, I think maybe it's enough that we're co-hosting it and in name, and Commissioner Cataret's going to get the word out,
Right.
which people that get the word from you would not normally know about this
Exactly.
event. And then it becomes, that we got the job done. But I don't know what we're going to do about the event. Do you know what to do with the event?
No, we just heard about tonight.
Yeah, right. But I'd be willing, sure. Then, so we'd have one meeting on April 10th, a business meeting. And set an agenda for May for a forum. Does everybody agree to that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'd be willing to do that, and also be willing to be the or one of the point people to do, whatever organizing, coordinating, once we do find out the details of what co-hosting means.
Yeah, I was going to ask, who's going to be, I'm going to go, so I'll work with Commissioner Zelnus. Anybody else think they can go that morning?
Yes,
I'll be
Okay,
able to
Commissioner
come.
Ketter, okay,
I will.
Are you gonna be able to come?
No, we have testing that week.
okay.
So we-
Okay, so there's four of us, so I think then that's fair to call it a forum, and we'll do, you just funnel the information to us, Lee, and we'll
Sure.
do whatever we have to do.
I'll tell the Fire Chief Freet of the four names and coordinate through him
Good.
as to what needs to be done.
Okay. And I agree, this is a perfect topic for what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Why don't we look ahead to May and see what are our dates in May for our forum, and maybe we can get a little jump start on that one.
The forum in May would be May 22nd.
Okay, does anybody have ideas for a forum in May? I know it seems a little far away, but then it catches up to you right away. So I'll throw out my idea, but I know Commissioner Janice, you're writing the law for elder abuse, and I thought it might be very educational for the community to hear about elder abuse. So a strictly educational forum, what it is, how you recognize it, who do you go to, what do you do? And I know you must have all the people that could educate the public on it. And with so many seniors in Palm Springs, it seems to me this is an important issue.
Yeah, I agree with that. Since we've done a couple of elder abuse forums in the past, I don't know if, Jim, there's some new information or new people with a sort of a different perspective that could bring something new as opposed to hearing again about, it's not that it's unimportant, but, we could get an old video and run that again as opposed to seeing some new stuff.
My point of contact, the last forum we had on elder abuse was Margot Hamilton. She's has her position in Hammett, and she's the one who lined up all the attorneys. Did an excellent job to bring a forum panel here. So I can get in touch with her and find out what's changed, what's transpiring, and what impact our society is having on the elders of our country with the strenuous situation we're going through now. I'm sure is having a neurotic effect on them, so that's another element that we can be looking at.
And maybe we could relate it somehow to the law that you're working on in Sacramento, because that's new, isn't it?
Mhm. I can relate to that. Oh, I have several proposals and bills that I can relate to.
Mhm.
And I could be selective on making them pertinent for this occasion.
Okay, that's just one of my ideas. I mean, to be honest, since I've been on here a year, I didn't see the other elder abuse ones. So I'm sure there are a lot of people that haven't seen forums on elder abuse, but I'm open to any ideas. This is everyone's commission, so. Any other ideas?
I ran out of the Bill of Rights.
Yeah, so did Ashcroft.
Joe, there was an article in the Desert Sun about bullying in schools. So we have elder abuse. What about like children's rights and bullying and that kind of thing? And I don't know if that would be a good topic or not. But I've always been a little concerned about, the kind of feeds into the zero tolerance seems to be applied a lot of times at the school level, and bullying, of course, would always be a serious concern. But I don't know if we can make a forum out of that or not. And I don't know who you might have as panelists. Who's going to speak for bullies?
A bully.
Oh, we can certainly ask the professionals in the field and also get some kids involved. Get a perception even at the middle school, possibly. Bring some kids out and have them express their feelings and also discuss not just bullying, but their civil rights and how it differs from adult rights on campus. And that certainly is a topic for consideration.
It'd be a fresh topic, I think. It hasn't been done before.
Now, are we also doing one in June?
Oh, excuse me, what is the target date for elder abuse?
Well, we're talking about May 22nd.
All right.
We're still talking about if we're going to do it that date yet, but,
Well, I want to
yeah,
give a target to Margot Hamilton.
sure.
So,
Do you want to do one on bullying in June?
well, we could, sure, I'll look.
I just think it's going to be hard. Isn't it going to be hard to get the kids? Or,
Well, you're right, it is after school.
So can we do the children's in May and do the elderly in June? Because school's out in June when we would have the forum.
now, who wants to do the bullying one?
Well,
You're going to do,
sure,
and what's the date in June? So we can tell Commissioner
And
Janice.
June 26th.
Could we do yours in June?
Can we do this backward? Can I tell you which date Margot Hamilton will react to?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah,
Which month?
if the 22nd is the only one, then let's go with that, and then we'll figure something else out for the 26th.
Can you give me those dates so she can be selective?
May
Uh,
22nd
Yes?
and June 26th.
And if she's indifferent, we'd probably prefer June over May.
Right.
If she
Right, we-
could,
Yeah. If she
Yeah.
could do June, that would be perfect.
All right. I'll
And then we could do the bullying one in
I'll
May.
shoot for that.
Sounds good.
Do we
have
have,
two
when do we
topics.
go dark? Do we have a scheduled meeting? When, is that August?
August.
Okay.
when dark in July.
We start with our new members in July,
Right.
so we're not dark, we're getting going. We're just sort of gray in July and dark in August.
Confused with a whole new group. I mean. So any more discussion on topics, or we're all set now for those two? So Commissioner Janice, you're going to try for June 26th, right? And if that works, then in May, on the 22nd, you'll do a forum on bullying, and that's great. Okay, the next topic was going to be an update from Commissioner Boyd on the Desert Human Rights Association, but he is not here this evening. He is busy with that association. And next on the list is changing the time of the business meeting, which would begin in July. The business meeting would be from 3 to 5 p.m. And one of the main reasons is budgetary for the city, because when we have it in the evening, we're paying overtime, we have to have security here, the TV people, and we're the only commission that meets at night, from what I understand. So I throw it open to the floor. I can make the 3 to 5. It has to be everybody else, so.
I believe we've already voted on this. I just wanted to be brought up again take a look at it to see if, because that time is difficult for me at best. Would our forums still be in the evenings, or would they also be at this time?
The forums will be in the evening. It's just that one meeting, the business meeting.
Because I know John Paul couldn't make it, but that's why we made it
Okay.
after his term expired. Now, I'm in an unusual position because I will have served 3 years at the end of this year, but I came in on a 1-year short term, so I still have another year to go.
When I came in, that was one of the things that was said to me, that the meeting was going to be the second Monday, because I did have a meeting on the second Thursday of every other month, and I had to give up some positions in order to stay on the commission, with understanding that it would be on the second Monday, starting in July.
Right, when I interviewed Commissioner Carteret, all the interviewees, I told we were going to change, and I was under that impression. So I guess it's up to you, Mike. I mean, Commissioner
No,
McCullough.
I'll withdraw any consideration. I just wanted to make sure it was okay with, because I didn't realize that all the new commissioners were already informed and were signed on for that. Because whenever I signed up, it was with the understanding that it was going to be in the evenings. And I was probably one of 2 people who voted no on the switch.
Okay, so now, are we going to try the new hours, or you can't do it?
No, I'm not saying I can't do it. I'm just saying it'd be difficult. But, yeah, I don't want it brought up and reconsidered because everybody else has made accommodations for it.
Okay.
Anything for the good of the order?
Anything else? Any other discussion? Or we've covered the agenda this evening rather quickly.
This must be a record.
Commissioner Janice, what do I always ask you?
Can I play the tape? I move that we adjourn.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.